Hi, welcome to the Stockin' Knit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jane Itma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 78.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Yes, it is. Did you have a good Mother's Day?
It was relatively uneventful.
Okay. I didn't know if you were going to expand on the uneventfulness.
No.
Yeah, I did a lot of, we went to Shepherd's Harvest the
Yes.
day before. So I did a lot of laundry and felt very like this is what a mother does on Mother's Day. My son, I took a picture and posted it out on Instagram because I'm an Instagram fool as of late. He drew me my favorite thing, and I'm like, okay, it just looks like a swirl. And he's like, it's green yarn, Mommy. And I said, oh, and it became very special at that point. And then I started to wonder if I might have a problem. My 4-year-old knows that I love green yarn. That might indicate some sort of problem of some sort.
Yeah, my kids ended up asking to have friends over on Mother's Day, and surprisingly enough, there were a lot of people around that were willing to hang out. So we had the neighbor girl over, and then Justin got to go to his friend's house, and yeah, so at least for a few hours.
Coco?
We heated up something very basic for supper. And by we, I mean Matt heated up something very basic for supper.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was my Mother's Day. I think I got things accomplished. I don't recall exactly what they were.
Yeah. My husband said that he got something and that it was going to be late, and it was my middle child Dexter's idea. It was a gift for me, and I still haven't gotten it. So I don't know if it never has shown up or what the dealio is, but I had a gift. I guess
in the mail.
The thought that counts. Yeah, the gift is in the mail. What else is going on? I don't have any other chit chatty stuff.
No. I was told that I could go to Shepherd's Harvest by myself next year. My family was unimpressed by the Fiber Festival. I mean, there are things about it that we'll never forget, like getting to hold Angora bunnies. They're so soft.
Mm-hmm.
And bunnies are cute anyway, so that was adorable, and they laughed their heads off at that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were troopers. They did a good job. But about an hour and a half in, it was like, can we go home? Is it time to go home yet? When are we going home? Can we go home now? It's like, it took us an hour to drive here. Can we stay a little bit longer, please?
Yeah.
But what can you do? We did have a picnic, and that was fun. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So.
Yeah, my kids. Yeah. My middle child again, Dexter, was just wanted to see the sheep. Can we go see the sheep? Mom, I want to go see the sheep. And he was just all about everything. Like, Mom, look, they're shaving that llama. Mom, it was just like, I don't know what's the best way to describe it, but like when you get to a certain point and you don't have any young people in your family, and then all of a sudden at Christmas you do have a young person, and they're like, oh my gosh, Mom, look at that process. It just brings the joy of it back to you, right? So I don't know. We could talk about Shepherd's Harvest now or later, but I really like the fiber related events that have more of a county fair type feel.
Yeah.
Like I loved Yarnover's market, but the county fair feel and the more family oriented, because my kids would have been complaining the whole time at the Yarnover market versus there were some things to see at Shepherd's Harvest. So
yes. No, I would agree with that. Yarnover is not for the non-knitter.
Yeah, yep. But they get the big names, and yeah, it was a fantastic experience. But the Shepherd's Harvest is an event that I would definitely recommend taking your family if they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Administrati, the Pacific Knits. I'm trying to get to the end of my row here. Drawing wrapped up today. Yay. And we drew for a winner, so as not to waste on air time see, I'm getting there. One more stitch.
Come on.
Yep, I'll get to it at the end of my row. We had 11 retweets, Twitter entries, which was exciting. And then we had 200 and, what was it?
23?
Yeah, because it ended up being 234. 223 Ravelry entries. And I went out to random number generator and did one random integer between 2 and 234. That's the 223 plus the 11 tweets. And drum roll, we have 190 was the winner of the Pacific Knits giveaway. And that person is JENTM. Jen TM.
Jennifer.
Trademark. Yeah, Jen TM. Trademark from Moortown, Vermont. You are the lucky winner of the book. I don't have it here to show you, but we have a hard, soft cover book that we'll be sending you, actual physical book rather than the ebook. And she would be interested in knitting the torrent. I love how the lace flows across the front of the socks. So, thank you all for going out and showing your love to that. Exciting, exciting.
Yes, they released their Made in the UK book today.
I got that email. Yeah, exciting.
We are supposed to be getting that book in the summer, I think.
Okay.
For review and giveaway, I hope.
Awesome.
I'm not going to count my chickens before they're hatched. It's not here. I don't have it in my hand.
But, just a heads up, we might be reviewing it in the future.
We
may be reviewing it in the future. In Mistrati, it's the finish. Sorry, our brains are like
mush.
Fried. Yep, fried from working. The finish that KAL is going.
Yep.
I thought, and I'm going to spring this on you on air, and you're just going to shoot me, but I thought it'd be fun if you're actually finishing one of our KALs. You get like 2 entries. Like, I started this KAL with you guys, and now I'm finishing it with you guys.
I mean, sure. I mean, it's one of those things that's like, yeah, I love that you're finishing it. Like, we've already had somebody enter, like, at least 4.
Mm-hmm.
One person entering 4 things that they've finished this month so far of previous KAL.
We inspired them.
Apparently. And I was like, wow, there must have been a lot of things that were just about done. Or at least in my world, they would have had to have been just about done. But, you know, if you're Sally from Idaho, you could do that.
Totally. Totally whip that out in no time flat. KAL drawing.
Yep.
Covered. You got an FO?
I do.
Okay. Let's see it.
I have a Twigs and Willows sweater.
Yay! Twigs and Willows. Look at that. Just in time for it to be really warm outside.
Yes, just in time for it to be too hot to wear.
There was, like 10 days ago, or I guess now it's 2 weeks ago, we had like 15 inches of snow, and yesterday it was 97 degrees.
I know.
How bizarre is it in our world, in our land these days? Very bizarre. It is bizarre. Oh, look at that. Isn't it fantastic? I love the drape.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
So, Ginny complimented me on my positive ease in the shoulders, but I'm not sure how I feel about them, because if you're wiggling all day, you start to get a little poofy sleeve. But
yeah.
But she said she hadn't seen that very much, and she likes positive ease in her shoulders. But
and there's the willows part.
Yep.
And twigs.
Twig.
That's really nice neckline on you. I think it would be an attractive neckline on. I'm sorry if I were blocking your view, folks. I wanted to see it. She didn't try it on before she.
Yeah. So love the buttons. They go perfectly in theme and in color. Things that
I rolled that for you. Sorry.
things that I am thinking about as like a maybe I do it differently. My sleeves are a little long. Now you can see if I raise them up and back down again, they're at the right place, but they start out past my thumbs. So they're a little long. I don't mind a long sleeve, so it's not, zhuzh a little bit, it'll be fine. So that's one little thing. And again, my fault. I should have remeasured that length on me rather than doing what the pattern said without figuring out what I am. And then the sleeve with the positive ease in there. Because if you pull it up like this, it seems to be okay. And I haven't measured my row gauge to see how far off I was on row gauge, because it could just be all my row gauge is the reason this has so much positive ease in it. So I'm not going to rip it out just yet. I haven't had a chance to wear it very much. So I think that, I'm going to wear it a couple days. Maybe I'll pack it for the winter and then I'll wear it a couple days this fall, and it will be it'll be just fine. I don't know. Or maybe it'll really, really bug me and I'll have to fix it.
I was thinking like Amy going to the gym. Gotta work out these muscles right here to fill out that twigs and willows.
Get some shoulders.
You could put some shoulder pads in it.
I was thinking if you tucked them just like this.
Yeah.
But I don't want to point out the flaws in my
sweater.
sweater.
And then you could like you could knit a little tab and button it down.
Mostly that would make it look a little cuter.
It would. It would be a design element.
But yeah, it's about an inch too much, if not a little more, like an inch and a half.
So yeah, you would end up. You would just have to rip a little bit back, right?
Yes. Yeah.
My plan. A little
okay.
Sooner.
So we'll talk about this. My plan would be to take out the shoulder seaming from here to here. Pop this out, rip it back, fudge it so that it's shorter by a bunch, and it would probably wouldn't cap as much, but I would try to fudge it so it came in as much as it did before, but again, all just kind of fudging the numbers because it wouldn't be perfect.
Your seaming is fantastic.
Thank you. But definitely think that if I were to do it, that's how I would do it. I would just rip out enough that I could pop the sleeve out and then unknit and reknit that little cap and then sew the cap back in. Because I think that the way it is now, I've got enough room in it to do that. I wouldn't need to knit all the way down to, the bottom and I don't think so.
Nope. I think you could just illuminate some up at the top and it would be fine.
Yep. So again, am I okay with a poofy sleeve? That's going to be the ultimate question. And again, when I pull the collar in, like towards my neck, it straightens them out. It's just when you're working and you're like, oh, it kind of starts to drape and sit on your shoulder differently, then these kind of poof out. But again, Ginny liked it. So. Maybe I'm being overcritical of it. I don't know.
This is the button gal?
Yeah.
Oh, when did she see it? I thought you already had your buttons.
I didn't. I had 8 and I needed 9. So I had 8 sewn on, and I went in for the last button and tried it on, and that's when they noticed.
Is that how many Annette needed as well?
I believe she needed 8, and I sent her 8, and I bought myself 8, and what I needed was actually 9.
Got it.
Because I hadn't knit the sweater yet when I bought the button.
That's the risk. But the risk of pre-buying the buttons. But yep, it looks fantastic. Way to go.
Yeah.
Must feel good to have that off the needle.
Yes. I've been very tempted to cast on more, but I'm too busy. So I will stick with the projects I have until I get more done.
Oh, I hear ya.
It's too warm to wear this.
Lots of stuff has been jumping on my needles as well.
Normally I'd just leave them on, but
any others?
No. Okay. I showed the yarn last week and I left the yarn at home, so
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I finished my Great Divide. The KAL is going on. It's kind of an Instagram KAL. It's a, goodness, already yawning for me. It is a DK weight pattern, but I knit it with fingering double. The pink/purple, depending on the light, is Tempted in the Good Girls Don't colorway, in the Sinful base, I believe, and then the gray is some Valley yarns, and it opened up quite a bit. I don't know if you guys can see the holes in there, but it's not as dense as it was, right? And it's got a nice drape, and you can see the stitch pattern a lot better.
Once I get started yawning, I
stop. And then I'm going to be all clashy and put it on. I think it was Josh was telling me that, or was it Mandy? Bacon Fairy was saying that Stephen West said to like put it on like this and then kind of.
No, that was me.
Was it you? Okay. Put cockeyed a little bit.
Mhm. I guess they could have said it too, but we were gone by the time
you were in the beginners, so you got to talk about the wearing and whatever. And I was like, I like it. It's a great simple knit, kind of, something that you can do while you're doing other things. And then there's some really wonderful prizes. I think Fable Fibers is dyeing up some colorways, and then I am giving a gift certificate to Mr. Yarn, so that enough that you could pick out 2 of the Rastita. Is that the DK weight of the single ply?
Oh, maybe.
It's like Rasta, but little Rastita. Anyway, $40 at Mr. Yarn, where you could pick out 2 colors and knit one of these if you wanted, again, for that KAL. And so I don't know when the end date is on the KAL, but you should definitely jump in. The shawl zooms. So
who's hosting that?
It is
to enter your finished one.
She has a, you can find her out on Instagram, or you can find her out on Ravelry as well, and I can link it. It's Knitty or Nice, I believe.
Okay. Yep.
And KNITTY or NICE.
Mhm.
So, yep. It's all good. That's my info. You got a work in progress that you want to talk about?
This is a Hobbs arm.
Hobbs has an arm.
So there's another one at home with his feet. So I'm only carrying the working one with me. Then it'll be on to the head and body and all that, the bigger things. I can't decide whether to start the tail right away and get that out of the way because it's going to be pretty long. Or to go to the body so that I can actually start stuffing him and shaping him. I think I'll probably just go to the body next, or the head, something big where I can get things sewn together. But so far so good. I'm enjoying crochet, at least in this form. And
is that the thing that has been jumping out at you that wants to be knit, or?
I think it's the who it's for more than the object, the actual process. Like, I don't know, maybe my face is giving away. I'm not like seriously thrilled with crochet. I'm enjoying some of the crochet that I've been doing that's for a different project. That's more relaxing. This one, to me, it feels like I'm counting a lot because I've already had to fudge this one a couple times because I've added too many to the round, and I don't know how I'm doing it. I think it's because I get lazy and I stop counting, and then I just end up adding. And yeah, it makes no sense to me when you stop and when you can close it versus, I don't know. Maybe I can have a professional sit next to me and say, okay, see here, this loop is the inactive and this one's the active, something like that.
Formal Hobbs training?
Yes, formal Hobbs training. Who knows? I might go gangbusters on him and have him done, but this is a slow slog for me.
I'm just gonna feel, he's gonna be dense.
Made out of some Red Heart soft yarn, right? So should be bulletproof.
Grand babies will have that all.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So, my other project, this has been my bus knitting, is the tank top. So it's getting longer.
Have you gotten to the point yet where you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to balance out all of this bias?
Oh, yeah.
I got to that point. I was like, oh dear.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like, yeah, it's quite a bit different. But I don't...
Let's see here. Let's show them what I'm saying. So there's this V in the front.
Yes.
And then you're still working it in the round, but it's quite a bit different than the back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
24? No, not 24.
Yeah. Like
Foot?
6 inches.
Okay. Seemed like a lot. Now that you're holding it like that, it doesn't look like as much.
And maybe it's the way I'm holding it. Maybe it'll look worse if we do it that way.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I still have quite a bit of this yarn. So this might be like one of those goes past the bum sort of
Can I put
tunics.
bum darts in?
No. I hope not. This is pretty wide.
Yeah.
But tunic length more so than
Yeah. And as written, it is a tunic length.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's really long. Like mine, I ended before I had completely unbiased it.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, this is too long. And it's going to grow. It's, because mine is out of cotton, so it's got cotton in it, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow, and I didn't want it to be
a dress.
Yeah, that much longer. Although knitted dresses, I've never done one of those. Somebody else has, but
you did.
Well, yeah, I never wear that dress.
Okay.
If I did a Knitstalgia on my Gemini that is a dress, I never wear it. I don't know why. Something about cotton yarn around my midsection and certain parts of it getting saggy. Like when you sit down, you're wider than when you stand up.
Yep.
It stretches the cotton out, and then when you stand back up, you've got this
butt imprint.
Yeah, a big mess of a cotton thing behind you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've seriously contemplated. I'm going through now and going like, if I don't wear this, why do I have it? And should I just give it away, or should I like rip it back and make it like a shirt length and actually wear it, right? I also have a knitted skirt that I never wear. I've got shawls that I never use.
I recently thought about my office, like the new office that I'm in. I should have realized this when I was touring, that everybody has a blanket or something draped across the back of their chair. It gets really cold at weird times. Like you're totally not expecting it and you're freezing. So I thought about taking all my shawls into work, and then just having a loan out program. In the sense that, they know the crazy knitting lady always has a big pile of shawls in her office or something.
Yeah.
And that would kind of help people through the summer when they're wearing, outside wear and they come into the AC that's freezing them out of their office.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love the process of knitting, but like something inside of me like hurts to think about like completely frogging something, like a sweater, or unless it's just like to die for yarn, right? Like if it were, I don't know where my line is, but like if it were like a Madeline Tosh or a Sundera or I don't know that I'd ever rip out any of my Woolmise garments. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I should probably just find these homes. And not worry about it.
That's my plan. I have already started a collection. So if you're coming to the retreat, you might see some wares for available. So I haven't decided exactly what to do with them yet, but
yeah, fun.
Things that need to find a new home.
You working on anything else?
Nope. Not actively.
A toy in a tank.
Everything else is, there's a shawl and 2 pairs of socks, and they have been on timeout since the weather went wacky. So.
I'm working on these Dancing Dog Dye Works skip rib socks. They got a little bit of love because they were my travel socks when we went to Shepherd's Harvest, which Amy mentioned was about 90 minutes in the car, and I was at a point with my other knitting where I'd have to be like picking up stitches, and I just didn't, I was like, oh, I'm going to do socks. And so I turned the heel, and I used my crazy self-striping one needle gusset heel, and it still fits my foot and it still works. One of these days I'll type it up and put it somewhere, give it to somebody else to try to say whether or not I'm crazy or not. And these are, I already said, Dancing Dog Dye Works, and they're stripes from Megan. And these are, I will be using it for the Finish That KAL because they are my April. Yeah, I didn't do any April self-striping.
Yeah, this was mine.
Look at you. See, you were dangerously close to being done with one too. You could enter it into the thread.
As much as I would love to win the lovely prizes, I will let other people do so.
Yep. Next up, I have my, and I'll take this off. Again, this is going to look lovely. I was just commenting to Amy that my Great Divide was going to look lovely with my bright red shirt, and this one's going to look even. There is currently nothing on the needles with this, but you can see it's missing some important anatomy over here. So I finished the sleeve over here, and it looks really long until I put this side on, and then it stretches and gets just about where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
And yeah,
making me sad again.
I'm sorry that my Woolmey's lace garment makes you sad. It makes me happy. I love it.
Well, mine made me happy until I had some bad news.
Yep. So this is the Maris by Elizabeth Doherty, and it's it's been a great knit. It's been interesting. Even the sleeve you got down here, and you had some lace that you could do. So it's kept my interest. The only issue, and I wouldn't even call it an issue, I picked up stitches less rapidly than the pattern called for, and I still ended up with like 20 extra stitches. I was like, if I go back and I don't pick up those 20, it's going to look pretty sparse in some places. So I just went off the book.
Yeah.
And basically worked some decreases into the cap to get it down to where it's supposed to be once you're working in the round. So yeah, that's not, I don't know, maybe I knit too far, like I made the armhole too long. I don't know, but I made it work. I had a Tim Gunn moment and I made it work. So I'm enjoying it. This took me, once I actually sat down and picked up the stitches and worked the sleeve cap, it didn't take me long. So hopefully I will have an FO by next week. Cool. If I get around to it. I've been working on other stuff. Other stuff has been jumping out at me and saying knit me, knit me. But that is the Maris. And then the last two, I can't really show you much detail, but I wanted to mention that I am test knitting Jenna Kapoor's Retro Lemon on Ravelry's shawl. So, and it will debut at the retreat, and this is how she showed hers, her finished one on the podcast. So I can show you like that. And it is out of, this is kind of enabling / works in progress. I probably should have saved it for the end. I saw the amazing Sun Valley Fibers at Shepherd's Harvest, and Amy and I had remarked that this was a totally awesome colorway. And Amy wanted to make a garment out of it, but she didn't have enough skeins. She still had some skeins, so this is the Merino Cashmere Silk in the Plum Crazy colorway. Plum Crazy. So
I'm getting some Cactus Bloom, I believe.
So yes, I plan on either giving this to Jeanette to show in her booth at the retreat, or wearing it at the retreat. So if you're going to the retreat, you're going to get to see it, but it's fabulous. It's a fabulous color. I really like how the pattern is knitting up with it, and I really like how soft and wonderful it is. It is fantastico. And then last, I have, did I just flash my pattern? Oop-a-doo! I guess I can do some post-editing to fix it. But, yep, I'm knitting on my pattern. This is the actual non-prototype hodgepodge. This is what it's going to be. This is the sole. Very interesting for you. But again, I love how the zombie unicorn is knitting up. And I distributed to my test knitters, and they are go gadgeting on that. So, I have lots of works in progress. I just showed more works in progress than Amy, if that isn't telling you how bizarro my world is at this point. Oop, and I just pulled my needle out of my stitches. I'm using my Addy Turbos on my sock design, and it is, I'm growing accustomed to them. I still like the tips of these better, but it is nice how light they are. Goodness, it just feels like you're flying because you hardly have any anything to really push around. So, what? Is it as it's supposed to be?
No.
Oh.
I'm getting 6 per inch row gauge. It's supposed to be 7. So yeah, that would account for the length
Being longer.
Yep. Womp womp.
Amy, you're gonna have a lot of ripping back and fixing to do.
Yeah, we'll see if I ever get in the mood for it.
That would never happen to me.
Never? No mood for ripping back and fixing?
No. I would have to force myself. Like, I want to wear this. And so I must do it. I must.
Yeah, so it's about an inch off. We were right in our guesstimates. Bummer. And she does have measurements in here, but they're not flat measurements. So my brain didn't think, go check the measurements. She has.
Yep.
So I didn't think, go pick out
O. So, O, yeah, cap.
Yeah, it's way bigger than that. 7.
It says 6 1/4.
Yeah, I think I'm knitting the 6 1/2.
Oh, I think it's supposed to be. So you've got about half an inch.
No, it's
too much.
Too much. Okay, boring.
This
Moving
is so
on.
very exciting. I don't have any more works in progress to talk about. I had a lot of works in progress. If you hadn't noticed.
I had noticed.
It was a lot.
Okay, so that cheeses it. I'm gonna have to do something. It always.
The pattern says so because Amy always follows the pattern. I'm the one that it's odd if I don't change it. Amy
it
does as written.
And again, it was my fault with the row gauge, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I knew it, but I did, that darn follow your instincts thing.
Yep.
I knew as I was sewing it in, it seemed tall.
Maybe if I pretend that this will, maybe if I think really hard, it will change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
But it will not. Maybe there's a sneaking way to do it. Maybe that could be, like, I could take my sewing machine and go and then cut it. If you're screaming or you fainted.
Yeah, I would not do it that way. It would be so much easier to just rip back a few rows and then reseam it, but
How are you saying that? It would be so much easier to take a sewing machine to this. The cutting part is the scary part. Oh, it would be so much easier to just take seam. It would be like a little seam. It would look all professional. And then you take all this.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. Well, it's been confirmed that it is definitely too tall.
Whew. I can sleep.
Yes. But we didn't find the remote.
No. Can't. Oh, I won't be able to sleep tonight. We lost the remote to hit record with. We had a little remote control that I could, anyway, you guys don't care about any of this. Purchases.
Acquisitions.
Yes,
we were at Shepherd's Harvest.
We were.
So the only thing that I acquired, and it has a little story, but I will make it brief, is some Angora. So this is where the kids were manhandling the bunnies and enjoying their...
or kid handling.
Well, yes. Kid handling the bunnies. And they were having such a grand time, but this particular yarn was something that I had thought about purchasing at Yarn Over, and since I hadn't really found anything else, and I had my kids in tow and they were occupied in this particular booth, I grabbed it at Shepherd's Harvest. The funny story part is that I didn't have enough cash or check to pay for said item, and she let me take it home and mail her a check, which is in my purse right now. So I am going to be putting that in the mail.
Amy was regaling me with this story, and she was like, and I was like, ma'am, do you want my address or something? And
Yeah,
she was like, sure.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't even, she gave me her card in the yarn and put it in a bag and handed it to me. She knew nothing about me.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I felt obligated. So we found a piece of paper, again, she didn't have anything for me to write on. We found something that was part of her notes, and we wrote down my name and address because, yeah. But what a crazy world.
It is. But she was awful trusting.
Mm-hmm. And very exciting. I've actually had the check written since Monday. For some reason, it hasn't been in the mail since Monday. But,
you better write her a nice note.
Oh, it's already sealed. I have no idea if I wrote her a note or not. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Because I put it in a card instead of just an envelope.
Okay, good. Mommy Megan.
Something about, thank you for letting my kids manhandle your bunnies.
And trusting me to pay you for your yarn.
So, this is 25% wool, 35% alpaca, and 40% Angora. It's going to be a Butamus cowl or something.
You said you already had it picked out, didn't you?
Well, I made a cowl out of some handspun for somebody that I gave it away. And that cowl was so much fun to knit. I was like, I gotta knit that again. And I might just make it a bigger cowl. Rather than just the one that's around your neck, maybe make it into a little bit bigger cowl. Not terribly big. This is 300 yards of DK. But, something. Something a little bit more smooshy and slouchy. Maybe I'll make it taller than I did the other one. So that it gets more smooshed.
You already saw my purchase, but I wanted to, my Sun Valley. Lots of hugs were had. We also got some cards with some sheep on them that my kids picked out.
Yep.
And then my daughter was like, can I have a button? And bless her soul, Jeanette was like, sure, pick one. And then my daughter picked, give me all the stripies.
Oh.
So I'm like, zoink, you don't need that one. What else did I get? I bought some soap, and the other one is already in my shower that might not be your scent, but that I'm already washing with. But it's goat's milk soap. So it's got olive, coconut, palm oil, water, sodium hydroxide, fragrance oil, and vitamin E, lanolin, castor oil. Or is that crossed out and you don't get it? That
It must be crossed out.
But this is silk. Is the colorway? Is the scent, the aroma, and this is Avalon Farms. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that or not.
Yeah, there were a lot of soaps that I was very tempted, but again, shopping when you have your family in tow is.
I made a pass through, and then I used the excuse that I had my daughter with me, and we went back through. And I showed a lot of restraint. I have a lot coming into my house right now as far as prizes for you all, which
door prizes for the retreat.
Yep, which may or may not. Amy may or may not have been oogling. There's some good ones.
There is one that you'll know once. Yeah, somebody posts online, "Squee, I want it," because I want it so bad. I have never seen this thing in person, and now I've seen it in person, and I must have it.
Okay, now we just have to say it's into the world.
It's a bat of Captain Tight Pants.
It is gorgeous. I don't spin, but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I have enough coming into my house right now that part of me is being sated. Like, I don't need to like purchase things, right? Because things are appearing at my house daily.
Yeah. And you don't get to keep it, but
I get to pet it.
Yeah, you get to like organize it and like sort it.
So your prizes may or may not have been loved on by Amy and
I didn't.
The retreat prizes. Sorry again. Anyway, back. I showed a lot of restraint. I bought that yarn because I knew I was immediately going to be casting it on, and I thought it'd be neat to have Jenna's shawl available in Sun Valley as well. Yeah, Jeanette's yarn. And then also at Shepherd's Harvest, we ran into Josh, sort of a knitter. Lisa Tomko, and Haley Hales Knits, and they sent along a little wee button for you. They have the Knit Two Together podcast. Yeah, it's super cute with Haley and Lisa. So got to give them some lovin's, and I didn't get to hang out with them. It was like, what's the best way to say this mathematically? The Venn diagrams of my life. There's like Knitterly family. Like, I would consider, our community like part of my Knitterly family. And my family, very rarely do those two Venn diagrams intersect. Like, the two circles hardly ever intersect. But it was fun, right? It was fun to be like, look, these are my children. I'm proud of them. I love them. They're part of who I am that you never get to see because you only see the knitting side of me. Unless we're talking about them on the podcast. Right. But then, that intersection, the kid part kind of monopolized my time. So I didn't get to hang out and chat with him as much. So I'm super excited that I will get to in June. And that's kind of my motto right now. June is soon.
June is soon. Yes, it is. It's very soon. June is soon. June is soon.
There for a while it was like, is it June yet? And now it's like, June is soon.
I will also mention that I met 3 people that are coming to our retreat. So Lori and Kathy, they're local folks, and they grabbed themselves some day passes for Saturday.
Awesome.
And also Lane V was there, and I ran into her and talked to her. She was there with her husband, Sans kids, and she got to tell me how she was really considering it, and I think I saw her pop into the retreat, so we got another person. And we're very excited for June. There's so much going on. It's like blowing your hair back. It's so fast. It's like, yeah.
And we're doing lots of fun and exciting things that we're not necessarily telling you, but there's also exciting things that we are telling you. So we're just transitioning right now, right into the retreat stuff. But this is sort of where those Venn diagrams intersect. So Spin Monkey sent us some wonderful prizes, and along with the wonderful prizes that she also sent, Tara sent some stitch markers. And these are wee stitch markers.
Yeah.
These would work well for my shawl that I'm knitting right now if I needed them. So
yeah, small needles. Yeah.
Very nice. Very cool. Thank you very much, Tara. And thank you very much, Lisa and Haley.
Yeah.
Love your faces.
I like collecting buttons.
Love your faces. Yes. Also, retreat news. Shannon. Oh, crap, I forgot. I just saw my reflection. I was going to mention this shirt as well.
Oh, yeah.
I got it at Yarn Over. It was a very generous gift to me by Blogless Carla. And, yeah. So I now have children that, or a child that can read what my shirts say. How did I get to be that old?
Yeah.
Or how did she get to be that old? Anyway, so the official story is it says that stuff will block right out.
Okay.
That stuff. That's what the star is there for. Stuff. That stuff will block right out. And this
doesn't end with an F, Mom. Why is it?
Because the F is part of the star.
Oh. Why is there a T there?
Stuffed. That stuffed will
I see.
block right out.
There is a T.
Thank you for rehearsing with me. I haven't worn it in front of her yet, so she probably say something like that. Anyway, general philosophy on life is that stuff will block right out.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that about your sleeve, but I don't think that's going to help. Not the one that the pop stitch, the one with the extra long.
Either of them.
The
blocking will not help. In some cases, blocking will make it worse. Or worse.
Is that considered? That wouldn't be like a peplum sleeve, would it?
Yeah.
I've been watching too many fashion shows. Okay, so
no, I like, I wore it for part of the day because my office was really cold on the day that I wanted to show it to people, and had to get the extra button. So I got to wear it, and while you're wearing it, it doesn't bother you, and then you zhuzh or you futz with it, and then you see yourself in the mirror and you're like, well, that sleeve looks okay, but that one doesn't, and then, I don't know, I'm just overthinking it, really. I don't think anybody's going to look at it and go, that sleeve looks funny.
True. I doubt that very much as well.
So
retreat news.
Yeah.
Retreat news. So the exciting stuff that's going on with the retreat is that the hotel reservations are ending on the 20th, which is Monday. Monday. So if you are planning to get in on our group rate and you have yet to make a reservation, please do so immediately. In fact, you can pause the podcast. We'll be here when you come back. Go do it, and then we'll be here. Because we're going to wrap that up. We're going to assign roommates for those who have not identified a roommate and indicated that they would like one. Mm-hmm. What else is going on? I published today the write-ups for the classes. So if there was a class where you were like, what is PLARN? I have no idea what PLARN is, and I don't want to sign up for a class just to find out what it is. There's a little write-up. Mm-hmm. Patty Joy put the write-up together, and I conglomerated them as well as some of our more global events. Mm-hmm. I don't know if conglomerate's the right word, but I put them together. Mm-hmm. And the sign-ups for said Out to Break events, is what we're calling them, Outbreak, instead of Breakout, because it's a zombie theme. Amy's not laughing at me, she's just like, get done talking. Is Friday at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. And that's exciting. Go out and check them out. They're first come, first serve. So if there's a class that you're super duper want to take, can't take it certain time, need it at this time, please go out there and sign up as soon as possible. They will be at Revelry Threads. I will lock them once the class is at its fullest size. And Amy said that she reserves the right to drop into any of them. So, and one of those events I see sitting on your leg, is a mini skein swap.
So yes, one of our global, so anybody can participate. We'll take as many people as want to participate. Is a mini skein swap. So a lot of people do sock yarn blankets, and some people just like to collect mini skeins and hang them on their Christmas tree. So I thought I would do a quick tutorial on how to make a mini hank for giving away to folks. And again, this is just a general idea of how to do it. I purchased a very detailed scale when I was doing these mini skein swaps in order to get exactly 5 grams. But now I think the standard is 8 grams because of the hexapuff blanket. Mm. So 5 was good for the mitered squares, but the hexapuff needs more. So here is what I normally would do for a 5 gram skein, is I would do a William Gibson book, pattern recognition, about this thick, hardback, and I would wrap it around 5 grams. Again, I weighed this on my super duper handy scale, but it was about 28 wraps around this book, so I would do 30 to be for sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. And you can see I wrapped it pretty tight because I can't slip it back on. And then I would go ahead and twisty, like this. Put some twist.
You can make noises like that fingers, if you want to, but it's not required.
Not required. And then I go ahead and pop the one loop into the other, straighten it out. Now, I would put more twist in it than this, but I'm kind of rushing. So then, you got a little hank. So then you would try to make a label. You can just handwrite it if you want, or if you think your handwriting isn't that approachable, just print out something from the computer that has your name, your Ravelry name, and maybe where you're from, and then what the yarn is. I forgot to put that in my description. What the yarn is.
Unless you don't do that, so that you have to find the person so they can.
Oh, that's true. But the idea is that at some point we will have a bowl, and you will have to place your mini skein in the bowl, and then we will redistribute them very randomly. So for the 8 grams, I got out my Star Wars Lego sticker book.
Important to have.
Yeah, because it'll give me a bigger loop. And
so are we doing 8 grams or 5 grams?
I would suggest doing 8. It seems like a lot of people are doing hexapuffs, and then if they do mitered, then they'll just have a little extra. And I think that 8 grams is probably it's going to be pretty easy to find in your leftover sock yarn.
So even if you don't make any of those things, it's a great way to meet somebody, and it's also a great way to try out different types of yarn.
You can make a little
ornament,
swatch or ornament.
Those little those little sock things that you could put chapstick in. Those are really cute. I think Simply Notable has a little pattern out there for those.
Okay.
But do we have any other news we can say while you're doing that?
No, and I can put it down because it's gotten tangled. You get the idea. You wrap it around a book of various sizes. I was just saying, like, for the 5 gram, this makes a cute skein, and then for the 8 grams, this makes, it just to make it a longer, skinnier skein rather than a fat, chubby skein. But
depends on what you're into.
Yeah, it's all your choice.
Sorry. Yeah. So we're super duper excited about the retreat. I'm just gonna pretend like that didn't just happen. We have lots of stuff going on that maybe you don't know about, but we are super excited about for the retreat, and it just continues to get more part of my day. Like, yes. I was like, oh, whew, I got that done. It's like planning a big knitting wedding.
Yes.
And I'm not complaining because I'm absolutely loving that all this is happening. But it's like you just keep on uncovering more things that
more details
that you were going to do. You want to handle whatever the nice things that we can do for you folks that are coming all the way to Minnesota to hang out with us. So, just like a wedding, right? Yes, you're coming. Let's do something nice for them. So. Amy and I will not be exchanging vows at the Knitterly wedding, but it's fun. I'm having a good. You're still laughing at my comment, aren't you?
No, I'm just thinking of my vows for my Knitterly wedding.
I will not.
Yeah. Those things.
Yes. What would be some interesting knitting vows?
I don't know.
Okay.
I have to think about them. Maybe you could put them in the comment thread or for this episode.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I would love that too. I will be with you through moths and no moths. I will be with you through cashmere and acrylic. I will be through.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
We're filling. And I got to stand up and push the button. So.
Bye.
Bye, Hoofda.